Kvothe set out from Severin beneath the pale promise of dawn, wrapped in a warm cloak that whispered of favored magic. His companions, rough mercenaries led by the ruggedly formulated Dedan, the wiry tracker Martin with eyes sharp as hawk's talons, and Tempe, an Adem mercenary whose quiet calmness veiled fierce skills, rode with purpose, their path winding through soft hills and dense thickets. The air held the scent of burning leaves mingled with distant whispers of ancient woodlands long untouched by human boots. Soon, the expedition moved into the shade of the Eld, where the forest seemed alive, watchful, subtly shifting its paths to unsettle intruders. A warm, strange hum filled the air here, ebbing and flowing like the Eld's very breath. As nights came, the company's campfires flickered weakly beneath looming boughs, their light devoured quickly by impenetrable shadow. One evening, amid jeweled twilight, Kvothe strummed softly on his lute, attempting to drive an uneasy quiet away. The music swayed gently through branches, drawing softer echoes from the darkness itself. Suddenly, violent rustling shattered the silence. The woods exploded with arrows and shouts. Dedan's urgent cries pierced through the warm night air. "Ambush! To arms!" Kvothe scrambled upwards as chaos erupted, gripping firmly his sword, eyes widened in sudden, tense alertness. Amid tangled roots and shadow-drenched paths lit by flickering torchlight, Kvothe and his companions chased distant figures moving silently, swiftly, as ghosts, heart-pounding. Kvothe maneuvered deftly around massive trees whose trunks held the mysteries of ages past. Tempe's quiet, assured motions led them forward into the increasingly oppressive wilderness. Soon, paths twisted unpredictably, as if horizons shifted deliberately, terrain reshaping to claim them. Kvothe stumbled suddenly into an ancient clearing bathed in warm silver moonlight. Before him stood weathered ruins, stone carved with faintly glowing runes humming gently with old wild magic. He approached cautiously, fingers brushing the stones etched with symbols older than human memory. In that quiet instant, a sudden voice, rich yet coldly amused, resonated around him. "Such bold trespass, flame-haired one." Kvothe spun around, heart freezing as an elegant figure stepped from shadow, eyes glinting with willful charm and mysterious intent, pale face framed by raven dark hair that glistened like crushed velvet. Before Kvothe could question or respond, the stranger raised a slender finger, magic thundering forth. Darkness erupted, swallowing Kvothe whole, plunging him into utter silence and the unknown. Kvothe stumbled through the luminous mist, his breath quickened by the intoxicating scent of unseen blooms that flashed like starlight in the shadowy twilight. The forest around him pulsed gently with a magic older than human memory, a place filled with seductive whispers and ethereal gleams of silver and twilight purple. Suddenly, a soft singing voice emerged, melodic, enchanting, a melody that tugged gently yet irresistibly at his heart. He turned, feeling both fright and eagerness rise within, as the fabled Felurian stepped gracefully, barefoot through the silken mist, her eyes luminous and heavy with unbridled curiosity. Felurian, legendary enchantress of the Fae Realm, was far more entrancing than legend could ever capture. Kvothe was unable to tear his gaze away, each graceful movement weaving a spell around him that bound his mind and heart equally. "You have entered my realm uninvited," she whispered melodiously, casting an alluring glance at him. But he was not simply lost, for within him surged a fierce determination to uncover truths hidden beneath the glamour. Their gazes locked, spiraling Kvothe deeper into the enchantment, and leaving him unsure whether he had stumbled into a dream or been found by fate itself. Time flowed differently within the Fae Realm. Days blurred seamlessly into nights, Minutes felt like tender hours. Soft whispers became deep conversations. Kvothe began to understand the subtle magic Felurian wove through speech, song, memories, and touch. She showed him dances of moonlight, words older than civilization, secrets hidden within veiled smiles, gently guiding him to revelations that mortals rarely glimpsed. Yet, despite their closeness, Kvothe sensed it was a dance on a knife edge. He was playing a dangerous game, wary of losing himself forever in the enchanting endlessness of Felurian's domain. One evening, beneath a sky scattered with radiant, sapphire-hued stars, Felurian revealed her gravest secret, the crafting of the shadow cloak, woven from threads of night itself, a legendary garment that concealed and protected. With this cloak, you shall hold a fragment of true power, she whispered softly, pressing it into his hands. As Kvothe hesitantly grasped the impossibly smooth fabric, feeling shadows ripple through his fingers, Felurian's eyes widened suddenly in alarm. Be wary, Kvothe. They have felt your presence now. Her voice trembled slightly, sending a chill racing down his spine. Before Kvothe could ask whom she meant, a sharp, ominous sound erupted through the eternal calm of the Fae forest, shattering the luminous tranquility and drawing closer every heartbeat. Beyond the mountainous horizon lay Hart, home to the secretive and proud Adem people. As Kvothe entered the hidden valley for the first time, a hush of sacred reverence enveloped his senses. The Adem village sparkled gently beneath sunlit peaks, its quiet streets and subtle gardens exuding tranquility and wisdom. Waiting there was Vashet, his trainer, with lean grace and formidable gaze, her gentle eyes and precise movements radiating deadly beauty. She began the rigorous lessons immediately, immersing Kvothe into the flowing rhythm of Adem martial artistry. For days Kvothe struggled. His steps faltered, his strikes missed their mark, while Vashet mirrored each error with patient precision. Yet gradually, through sweat and bruises, humility and perseverance, Kvothe found a serenity he had never known, a stillness at the heart of movement itself. Vashet's quiet teachings rang clearly through the mountain air. Strength lies not within your muscles, but within your heart, Kvothe, within understanding and patience. Just as Kvothe began feeling confident, another challenge arose. Karsaret, a fiery Adem warrior with stormy grey eyes and hair bound tightly behind her head, confronted Kvothe. You aren't truly one of us, she whispered harshly. Prove that you're worthy, outsider. Facing her fierce skepticism, Kvothe knew he must prove himself, or lose everything he had worked to achieve. The clash between Kvothe and Karsaret electrified the air as Adem villagers watched silently, expressions solemn yet quietly expectant. Despite his newfound skills, Kvothe felt his confidence waver beneath Karsaret's penetrating stare. They fought fiercely, their wondrous forms twisting and blending, weaving like dancers under moonlit skies. Meanwhile, Tempe, Kvothe's Adem friend, observed anxiously, eyes deep and hopeful beneath his calm visage, silently encouraging Kvothe onward. Just as Kvothe began to falter once more, losing ground with each careful maneuver, he remembered Vashet's gentle voice urging him toward clarity. It is not force, but knowing yourself. Taking a deep breath, he embraced stillness and moved with serene purpose. Surprise flickered briefly in Karsaret's eyes as Kvothe's flowing movements connected seamlessly, effortlessly. Minutes passed in low hisses of breath and quiet footfalls, until finally, Kvothe managed to outmaneuver his opponent, holding his stance gracefully as whispers spread through the onlookers. Karsaret nodded quietly, acknowledgement in her gaze. However, as Kvothe caught glimpses of hushed conversations among elders, he sensed the battle had awakened an even deeper mystery. Later that night, Vache approached him quietly, eyes solemn beneath crystalline stars. Kvothe, now that the village has judged your skill worthy, there is something else you must face, something that may change everything. His heart pounding sharply, Kvothe stared into the shadowy distance, realizing his trials were far from complete. Kvothe's journey away from Adem was one tinged with quiet reflection. He wrapped himself tighter in the enigmatic cloak Felurian had gifted him, feeling its strange warmth seep into weary bones. Road-worn but enlightened, he traced familiar paths under twilight skies, magic humming softly in the rustling leaves above him. In small roadside inns, under golden lantern glow, he captivated curious villagers with whispered tales of distant lands, speaking in half-truths and carefully weighted silences. He savored these fleeting human connections, reminded of the simpler joys he'd almost forgotten amid court intrigues and huntresses of the Fae. Stopping briefly at an obscure village on the outskirts of Vintas, Kvothe visited a herbwoman known for her deep knowledge of folklore. Elderly yet sprightly, eyes sparkling with cunning wisdom, she gazed knowingly at Kvothe's crimson hair and curious green eyes. "You've danced with stories, far more grand than most mortal ears have heard," she said cryptically, carefully sliding an amulet into his palm, etched with strange symbols. "But beware, storyteller, for tales often find their tellers again." Kvothe left the village with the amulet humming faintly beneath his tunic, curiosity and apprehension stirring together. His steps quickened toward familiar grounds, the comforting yet complicated haven of Imra. Imra welcomed Kvothe as an old friend, its cobblestone streets bathed in the warm amber glow of lanterns and laughter spilling from open tavern doors. He wandered familiar backstreets, heart swelling with the bittersweet flavor of nostalgia. Finally, stepping into the familiar bustle of the Earlian once again, he sought refuge in musical sanctuary. His fingers danced masterfully upon the polished strings of his lute, spilling forth melodies learned in far-off lands, filled with melancholy and wanderlust. The audience fell silent, taken by the haunting beauty of foreign notes. In the warm applause afterward, a familiar figure emerged from the shadows. Denna twisted a dark curl around her finger, eyes glimmering mysteriously in soft lantern light. Her voice, light yet edged with hidden intention, whispered softly, "Kvothe, I thought our paths might cross again, after all." Kvothe smiled uneasily, the comfortable ease of distant memories now suddenly fraught with uncertainty. As they stepped into the cool night outside, Denna leaned closer, voice suddenly serious and soft. "I've learned things you need to hear." But before she could continue, heavy footsteps echoed from shadows ahead. A cloaked figure, tall and menacing in the dim moonlit alley, blocked their way. In a voice layered with threats and secrecy, he growled, "You've meddled enough, Kvothe. It's time to end this." Kvothe's fingers tightened around the hilt of his hidden dagger, heart pounding wildly in anticipation as darkness closed around them.
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?